Getting a child into a nursery school should be easy. Well, not if you live in Delhi. This is my 3-year-old son, Vetri. He'll be competing with 500,000 other children to get a seat in a nursery school. And any of Delhi's top private nursery schools are almost as competitive as an Ivy League college. So our chances look pretty slim. Last year, Harvard, perhaps the most prestigious university in the world, had an acceptance rate of less than 6%. Meanwhile, a top Delhi school had an acceptance rate of 2.3%, making it less than half of Harvard's. So we joined a group of mothers and kids who are applying to nursery schools this year. What about teachers? Every year, the admission process is changed. This year, schools will prioritize children who live within a certain proximity. There are fewer than 2,500 schools in Delhi, and the best ones are concentrated in certain parts of the city, leaving parents with little choice over which school their children will attend.
I would say nursery admission is such a big torture for us. We are getting, every day restless nights. We are not sleeping at all. Just knowing that that fear has come up with us, that whether our child is getting admission somewhere or not, because the guidelines, they keep on changing.
People who were getting away by buying these seats in the name of donation or the capitation fee, finally would not be able to. So a better chance for somebody like me who would want to go with the process to get a seat finally for his or her child.
Few make it to top private schools like this one. But with most public schools largely dysfunctional, private schools are sought after. But even private schools have to set aside 25% of their seats to be given free of cost for the very poor. The government has enforced the same admission criteria across all schools. But private schools say they need to function independently.
Well, of course, we need to make a surplus rather than a profit. And that surplus needs to be plowed right back into the school to just maintain the place. And increment for the teachers every year is required. If you expect your teachers to be functioning at their best. So there is a certain amount of revenue that needs to be generated and the surplus that needs to be generated just to stand still. Forget going forward.
But the government says schools cannot be run as business firms. To improve poor quality public schools, the government wants to increase its investment in education. And it has banned schools being able to choose a proportion of its pupils directly, something which often meant rich parents could bribe their way to a place.
Education to basic right mein aayega.
Education is a basic right and cannot be commercialized. If schools are able to sell seats, poor kids can never get into good schools. We already have a 50% dropout rate of school children, and the only way to improve this is to ensure children get access to good schools.
The government has an ambitious plan of building 500 new schools, but that's not going to happen overnight. For my son and more than 500,000 other children waiting to get into schools this year, the question is, which school, if any, will admit them?